Welcome back to my channel. This is Angelo Christmas and me documenting my journey to $20,000 per month as a high ticket closer. So in today's video, it's just going to be about me sharing my journey so far for the month and me surpassing my biggest month as a closer. So I've officially made more commissions ever as a closer since I started closing. So I'm really excited to share that on the channel because it's a big moment for me, and especially how I did it, which is even more impressive. So without any delays, let's take a look at the numbers so far for my offer that I'm on at the moment. So if we take a look here, we can see that for this month so far I've collected $54,000 in cash. Now, although that may seem impressive to some people, maybe not to others, but my biggest month as a closer till this day in cash collected has only been like between 43 to 47,000. So this is almost 10,000 more in my biggest month, and we only, like, at the time of making this, it was only like halfway through the month. So I surpassed my biggest month halfway through the month with such low call volume, which is pretty insane. So as you can see here, like the last deal I closed was on the 17th of this month, so literally halfway through the month, and I made the most comms I've ever made in a full month, since I started closing. So very, very proud moment for me. And this is like a big moment for me because, my goal is obviously to get to 20K. Before next goal is initial goal before that is 10K, and I can definitely do that this month. We only have like 9 days left in the month. Volume did slow down a lot, but I'm gonna share something else on this channel that I'm also pretty excited about too. But the main thing I wanted to share is like my numbers for this month so far, which I'm very proud of, because like if we look here, the bookings I've got so far, I believe, are around 80 bookings. I could actually double check this real quick. So bookings so far have been, scheduled calls is 94. Okay, so let's update this. 94 book calls. From those 94, only 39 people actually showed and I attended the call with me. And from those 39, I closed 18 deals. So all these 18 here. As you can see, 46% close rate, which in my opinion is very impressive. I'm very proud of that stat, because when I first started closing, I could barely maintain a 20% close rate. So yeah, I've come a long way, and obviously my numbers are not yet where I want them to be, but I'm extremely grateful for where they are, because I understand that this is my journey. There's no point me like comparing myself to other people that got to $10,000 sooner than me, or got to like 20K sooner than me, right? That's not serving me in any way. Obviously it can serve me if I understand what they did differently to help them get there, but my point is there's no point me looking at them and thinking that could have been me. So yeah, I mean, this is where we're at in terms of my main offer, the sports betting coaching offer. However, like since the 17th, even before the 17th, the call volume like decreased quite a bit. So if I can even share my calendar here, like if we look at my calendar for the sports betting offer, as you can see, like I was barely taking calls. Like this is last week, so this is today, Tuesday. As you can see, I had no calls today. Yesterday I only had one call, and that was a no-show, so I didn't have any calls there. Last week, not even much calls. Like the volume, as you can see, started decreasing, and then even here it was a bit slow too. But either way, like for the total month, I only took like 39 calls. But what I wanted to share is that since the volume started to decrease, I started thinking like, this offer is a good offer. I'm enjoying it a lot. However, the high ticket offer is still quite new. They're still dialing in a lot of their systems, their marketing, which is going to take a bit of time. So I thought, since there's no like calls coming through on the calendar, yes, I could obviously hit the dialer and start setting my own calls, but I thought it would be higher leverage for me to actually get on a different offer alongside this one, so that I can actually start taking calls while this offer picks up, because I do really like this offer. And if the lead flow is like good here and it can improve, then I would ideally want to be closing on this offer full time, because like you can see, in half a month with low call volume, I made over $5,000, right? Imagine if like the volume was very high and I was able to take like back-to-back calls on a daily basis, I would have easily been past 10k by now, maybe almost on track to 20k by now, and we're only 21 days into the month. But obviously I understand that that's going to take time, and you know, I saw it, you know, it's my responsibility to put myself in a position where I can actually hit my goals. And I realized that, you know, if the lead flow stays slow like this, it's not going to allow me to hit my goals. So I decided to, you know, see what offer I can get on. And funny enough, on Friday, I believe it was Friday, this Friday that passed, a sales manager on my Facebook feed was hiring 2 closers. Well, he was hiring for like a closer, 1 or 2 closers on his offer, and he was looking for them to start on Monday. Well, I didn't know that at the time, but when I DM'd him, that's what he told me. And it's a very good offer in the space, and it has the potential as well for me to hit the numbers I want to hit, like 10, 15, 20, even more than that, because they're a lot more established and they have good lead flow as well. The marketing is pretty dialed in. So long story short, I sent my message through to the sales manager saying I'm interested, and same day I got hired without any interview. And that was like a really proud moment for me, because like I just thought to myself, like, if I really put my mind to it now, it's so easy for me to get on a new offer. But when I started in sales, like, I saw that as such a hard thing to do, like, you know, to find an offer. Like, it's gonna take me so long. I need to like reach out to people, I need to like get on interviews and hope that they hire me. You know, like, I had such a scarcity mindset around finding a good offer that I acted in alignment with that. But now, because of how much I've grown in my journey, my skill set I have, the conviction I have in myself, you know, all the posts I've been making about my sales journey, that's the most important one. I feel like that's the biggest reason that the sales manager hired me without even interviewing me. And this is not a small like company. This is like one of the biggest companies in the high ticket space. And the sales manager, he's a really solid manager, and he used to be a good closer. So it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing, you know. So the fact that like he hired me without even interviewing me, you know, that just goes to show, like, because of how I carried myself throughout the application process. Like, I just literally sent him a message to say I'm interested and why I would be a good fit. I shared some of my results on the offer I'm on now, and he asked me a couple of questions like via message, like, why do I want to, you know, work on that offer and do the same day. I answered them, and then pretty much from there was like onboarding steps, you know, get started. I took my first call on Sunday, this 2 days ago, you know. And it's funny because I've been so overwhelmed like this past week, because I've been balancing this offer, plus I've been balancing onboarding for the other offer, plus I've been balancing going through all the systems, admin, tech, all that sort of stuff. So it's been like super overwhelming for me. However, that's the life I chose, right? I can't sit here and complain about that, because I'm grateful I have that opportunity, because I know that on that other offer, if I wanted to commit to it full time, I can eventually hit like 30k plus on that offer, you know, because it has a good potential. So I was initially only supposed to start taking calls on Monday. However, the sales manager, he messaged me on the weekend, like Friday or Saturday, while I was still going through the onboarding documents. And he was like, you know, one of the closers they had, they're no longer on the team. He had some calls booked for Sunday, and he asked me if I could take them, you know, and without hesitation, I just said, okay, yeah, I'll take them. So that obviously showed him that, you know, I'm someone that he can rely on. Even though I wasn't ready for the calls, I took them either way. I only spoke to 2 people on Sunday. From those 2, one I have a follow-up booked with this week. She may close. And the other one, I got a deposit of $1,500 from him, because he didn't have the full amount to move forward. So good start, in my opinion, to that offer. And for now, I'm just balancing the two offers together. Like, I'm doing the sports betting one, like on the first half of my day I'm taking calls here, and then on the second half of my day I'm taking calls on the other offer. So for now I'm still deciding, you know, which one I want to give my full focus to, because ideally I just want to commit and focus on one offer. I feel like it's a lot simpler that way, more efficient and effective. but I'm first going to see, which of these would be the best way for me, to actually focus and commit on full time, which I'll probably have more clarity on that by the end of this month. So yeah, but yeah, that's it, where we're at so far on this journey. It's been an exciting journey. I mean, I'm still thinking about that, right? The fact that I can get on like a really good offer without any interviews, like that in my opinion is a proud moment for me, because even when it comes to posting my content on like social media and like Facebook about my sales journey, at one point I didn't want to do that. Like I had some hesitation and fears around doing that. Like, oh, what are people gonna think? What if they judge me? What if they think I'm not good? Or all those sorts of negative limiting beliefs I had. But because I overcame those and I made a commitment to myself that I'm gonna post at least one post every single day, that stacks proof, and that builds trust in a sales manager's eyes when he can see that. Because all he needs to do is go on my Facebook profile, look at my posts, and see that, hey, this guy shows up every single day. He posts every single day something about sales, something about his life, something about self-development or self-improvement. He's sharing some clips of his calls, of what he learned on his calls, what he learned going through the sales training, call reviews with my mentor, all those things. Like every single post I've made helped me get to the position I am now, and that's the power of posting online. It's the exact same with my channel here, right? I'm posting on this channel to show whoever's watching this that, I'm someone that actually wants to succeed. I'm someone that, does what they say, and I'm someone that I would hope that you look up to in terms of someone you can learn something from and be inspired and be motivated to also go out and achieve greatness in your life. That's one of the biggest reasons I post videos on this content, obviously to document my journey, but to also be a source of inspiration and motivation to other people on their journey. Because I know how tough it can be, especially if you don't have people in your corner or friends with, the same sort of mentality as you. It can be very hard. But that's why I do what I do on this channel, to be able to help people, get where they want to be. And as of now, the way I'm doing that is through documenting my own journey, to show anyone out there that it is possible. No matter what sort of place you start from. I started with nothing. Like looking at this now, $5,400. Like to some people that may not seem like a lot of money, but in my currency, because I'm in South Africa, that's almost 100,000 rand. That's like 6 figures that I made in a month, and the month's not even over yet. I made that in half a month, taking only 40 calls, not even 40 calls, right? And before I got into sales, like this is like it was even hard. It would have been hard for me to fathom this kind of money before I got into sales, because in my job I was only making like $700 a month, $600 a month, sometimes even less than that, in a whole month's worth of work. And now, like, look where I am now, right? And that's not because I got lucky. That's not because I'm special or I'm gifted or I'm different to anyone watching this. That's literally because I believed in myself. I didn't just say I want to succeed, but I actually was willing to do the actions necessary to succeed. And that's what got me where I am today. And also never giving up. Because there was many times in my journey where I could have given up. I could have just threw in the towel and played it safe and stopped investing into my skill set, stopped pushing the needle further, stopped trying to get on a new offer when I got fired off my old offer. Because in sales it's a cutthroat environment, right? You only get paid based on the value you provide to the company. If you're not closing deals, why is the company gonna keep you on there? And I've been through that, where I've been on a good offer, I wasn't able to close deals, and I got kicked off the offer. That's not a pleasant experience to go through when you don't have any other source of income. Especially if you're new to sales and you've just quit your full-time 9-to-5 job, But it's not what happens to you that determines whether you succeed or not, or where you're going in your life. It's how you handle what happens to you, right? So the sooner you start to realize that your situation and your circumstances don't define who you are and don't define your trajectory in your life, the sooner you're going to have a more resourceful mindset and more empowered mindset to actually take action in your life and start getting closer to where you want to be. Because the people that are where you want to be are no different to you. they've probably experienced the exact same things you've experienced that you feel is the reason you're not successful. But like I said, that's just a reason, right? Stop giving reasons to why you're not successful and start finding ways you can become successful. So the point is, don't ever make excuses about your situation or try to cope and say that you don't have money to do X thing, you don't have the time to do X thing, you're not cut out to do X thing. Those other people out there, they more, they can speak to people, I can't speak to people. Stop telling yourself all that bullshit, because that just holds you back, right? Any single limiting belief you can identify in your brain, you should reframe that immediately and give yourself a more empowering belief to hold. Example, if you feel like the reason you're not successful or you're not where you want to be in your life, whatever comes to your mind, write all that down. And that could be different from person to person, but like whatever that may be, like whether that's, I'm not good enough, maybe I got an accent, the people won't understand me if I put myself out there, if I start that business, or if I get into high ticket sales, or if I whatever your goals and do, like whatever you think could hold you back, understand that it's yourself holding you back, because there's people with those exact same things that have achieved what you want to achieve. Meaning that if you think you can't be successful because of your accent, because of your background, because of your skin color, because you don't have money right now, you don't have resources to invest towards yourself, because you don't have time, whatever you can think of why you're not successful or why you're not able to be successful, understand that that's just a limiting belief. And the longer you decide to continue believing that, the longer you're going to stay in a reality where you're not achieving what you want. You're not happy, you're not fulfilled, because deep down you want more out of your life, but you're unable to get there. And that's because you're holding yourself back. And the sooner you view life from that lens, where everything is your fault and where you are today is only because of your fault, not because of your parents, not because of your situation, not because you got fired from your job, not because your parents weren't able to send you to university, whatever reason you can think of, understand that that's all bullshit. The only reason you're not successful or you're not where you want to be is because of you. And I'm not just saying that like directed to whoever's watching this. This is how I view my life. And this is how I believe. This is the beliefs I hold as a person. Because I know I'm not yet where I want to be, and that's my fault. I take full ownership of that. And it's scary to swallow that pill, but the sooner you do that, the sooner you're going to become more resourceful. You're going to be more motivated to find solutions in your life. And you're going to be more encouraged and empowered to actually start taking actions to get where you want to be. So whatever negative thoughts in your mind you have, change them to positive beliefs and actually commit to believing that. And a simple way to disprove your belief is like figuring out like what's been holding you back. Let's say you believe it's because you don't have money to start something, to start making money online. Ask yourself, every other successful person out there, is there people amongst those people that started with no money? Yes or no? Yes, definitely there were. So that means your reason why you can't be successful is bullshit, because other people were able to become successful without starting from money. Now you need to ask, okay, knowing that that's true, what do I need to do differently moving forward to actually put myself in a position to get where I want to be, knowing that I might not have money right now, or I might believe X. Now you're going to be empowered to take action, because now you're going to start thinking of solutions and start thinking, what did those type of people do differently? Okay, they made use of free material. They went on YouTube. They did whatever it takes to learn what they needed to learn to become successful, even though it may take longer. Because yes, once you have money, you can invest into mentorship, you can invest into guidance and get help and get to your destination quicker. But not having money should never be a reason you don't take action. Because there's been times in my life, like many years in my life after I dropped out of college, where I was broke. I didn't have any money. But that was not an excuse for me to not try. I kept trying. I always looked for ways to make money that didn't require money. And always trying to take steps in the right direction to change my situation. So you watching this today, I want you to know that you can achieve anything you want to achieve in your life, but the only way you're going to do that, especially at the speed you want to do that, is to start believing that you can do it regardless of what's happening in your life, regardless of what circumstances you're facing or what situations you're in at the moment, what challenges you're facing. All that is garbage. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can actually be taking the right actions to move you in the right direction. Because only you can change your life and no one else is coming to save you. So that's it from a young kid in South Africa, 24 years old. Hope that was helpful. Hope that was motivational to someone out there. And I hope you use this video as a source of inspiration to actually start changing your life and believe that you can do it no matter what's happening in your life. So as always, if you want to follow my journey a bit closer, make sure to follow me using my social media links down below, as well as make sure you like this video, comment and subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate you watching it till the end, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have an amazing day and stay safe.